Right, that's me visit to the chandlery done. We have normally it's a well-stocked chandlery here at Mercery, but at the moment they are struggling to get certain bits and pieces, so there's a few empty shelves. So I've been today and bought another rope cleat that's going to go on the starboard side, and two of the fold down steps like I put on the port side last week. These are going to go on the starboard side tomorrow, and the fixings. And if you're thinking of buying a boat, always remember that nothing is cheap on a boat. £50.36. Not a lot to show for £50.36, but I suppose when you think of the quality and the longevity of these, it's not a bad investment really. Just bread and dripping for the next week. So tomorrow I shall get these fitted. Right, it's Sunday, what is it today? About the 29th of August, and one of the little jobs I want to do today is take the primary fuel filter off the fuel line just to clean it and see if there's any contamination in there before I start the engine, which I'm going to start doing now every Sunday, and then just run it for a while just to burn some of this fuel off. So the bowl is to empty the contents of the fuel bowl in, paper towel, keys, and let's go and get the engine cover up and see what we can sort. For a big boat, it's still not easy to always get into where you want to be, that's for sure. I just need to check on the fuel line. Right, so I've turned the fuel line off. It's actually going to the filter. Now I've got a fuel pipe here that's leaking slightly. I'm particularly happy about that. Hence this bit's been slightly jammed. Stood on something at some point in its past. It's not leaking bad, but it's something when we come to service the engine, it'll need looking at, that's for sure. Right, there's a tap underneath the fuel filter. I'm going to put my clear bowl in, and I assume right there, this should drain off what's in there. Nothing seems to want to be coming out of there. That's just the water, I think, that's in the system. Right, so we've got a spanner that's that size. I'm not 100% sure what I'm doing, so chances are I'm going to get this wrong. Just undo that, just let a bit of air in. No, nothing's coming out that bottom. So, I'll retighten that a minute. Being careful not to over tighten anything. I assume that this bolt holds the, unless the filter twists up, I don't know. No, it's underneath it. So obviously this is a central mounting bolt. And one of the things doing all this yourself, you get to learn as you go along. And while I'm moored up, if I get it wrong, then it's not major because I'm not actually going anywhere. So it's just interesting to see what's gathered in this filter housing, because this is the first port of call for the fuel before it goes up to the main feed filter, which is on the side of the engine. Now that doesn't look good. Definitely doesn't look good. You can just see this on the camera now where I hold it. Just down there a minute, look at that. How manky is that? That is not good. Not good. Right. We'll get this out and we'll have a proper look. Just bear with me a minute while I get myself out this engine bay and we'll do it up on top where I can see what we're on with. Right, now this just shows why it's important that you keep an eye on all these things. This is obviously a metal gauze reusable filter, but look at this crap, look at it. That's all that's been caught in the bottom of that filter. So I'm going to give this a good wash out. Give it a damn good wash out. Dispose of the what's in here responsibly, and hopefully get the engine fired up and see how she runs. But yeah, there's a seal in there I need out. Put that on there for now. It's pretty horrible. Come on, play ball. Let's go. Sit down. You ball. Misty, it's in your mouth, stupid. Give me the ball. Give me the ball. Give me the ball. Good girl. Daddy. Good girl. Good girl. Daddy, no, no. Give me the ball. Give me the ball. Give me the ball. Give me the ball. Daddy. Give the ball. No, back. Give the ball. Good morning and welcome to September. Crikey, it'll soon be bonfire night. Starting to feel a bit cooler. Come out this morning with Misty and I've got my coat on, so not good. Day off today and tomorrow. So today I've got some jobs I want to finish on the boat. I've got the 2 folding steps and a cleat to fit on the starboard side. But just a quick update at the moment. I'll come onto the boat later when we're on there doing what I'm doing. Day 11 of Misty's diet. As you may have seen from my previous vlog, I had her weighed 11 days ago and she was 36.4 kilos, which is 5.4 above Kennel Club recommended weight, but I actually wanted to be 29, so she's got to lose 7.4 kilos. And already within the first 11 days I'm noticing a difference with her. She's definitely fitter in herself. I've taken biscuit out of her diet and I've replaced it with a tin of meat and mixed steamed vegetables, so she has that twice every day, I mean, instead of the biscuit. And then she has her meat and sardines at night, and she's definitely looking better. And even though it's only 11 days in, it's a move in the right direction. So just to let you know, we're sticking to a very strict regime, no tidbits in between meals, and she's doing well on it. Well, before we start, I need some coffee and I need some toast. Right, I've had my coffee and toast, I've emptied the loo, and oh, it looks like it's starting to spit with rain. My plan today is to pull Freedom across to the starboard finger jetty and get 2 of these and the central line cleat fitted. I'm going to check on the weather in a minute and see how that goes. Yeah, it just looks like it's going to start to absolutely chuck it down, so I may have to postpone that for a little while. You will have seen earlier in the vlog the dilemma I had with the fuel filter. Well, it progressed after I cleaned it. On the night I did that, it wouldn't go back together without leaking. The seal in the top of the head of the filter, there's a recessed groove, and the seal just expanded when I let it go, when I removed the bowl, and it decided it just didn't want to go back in. So I've ordered from Wasp, the manufacturer of the filter head. I've ordered 2 kits, one for a spare, one to deal with the problem I've got, and at some point today, hopefully, I'm going to get a little bit of Vaseline, pop it into the groove, not a lot, just into maybe 4 strategic places, and then offer the new seal up, and hopefully the machine face on the bowl will seal up once I put the central bolt in. And I'll wait till my friend Callum comes back from work so I can be at the side of the filter housing while he fires the engine up, and got to obviously bleed the air out, and hopefully she'll run, and fingers crossed there'll be no diesel spilling out the side, and then it'll be good to make a decision what I'm going to do with this fuel that's in the tank. I've spoken to the local boatyard. They're going to give me a quote. They've already estimated me a couple of hours work to simply vacuum out. I think there's going to be about 170 litres of this old diesel in the tank, and dispose of it for me, and then I'm asking them to put me possibly 40-50 litres of fresh diesel in, and I'm going to treat that with diesel bug treatment, and I'm just going to run the engine regular and then just keep topping the tank up a little bit. I'm not going to put 720 litres in and fill the tank to the brim. I know that's what a lot of people suggest you do to keep on top of condensation and obviously then the risk of diesel bug. But I'm going to treat the fuel as it goes in each time, and if I was to put 720 litres in, the chances are I'm not even going to get Freedom out of the Marina till gone June when I retire, so that's going to be at least another 8 months, 9 months. And they tell you when you research it that red diesel has what they call a shelf life of between 6 months, ideally a year if you add extra additives to try and prolong it. I've spoken to the people who supply the diesel for me at work, the refinery, and their guys are saying that on their tanks in the yard they don't store diesel for more than 6 months. So filling up 720 litres, 190 gallons of it would just be a pointless exercise. So but first and foremost I've got to stop the filter leaking, so that'll be a job for a bit later. And while I'm talking to camera, the rain is absolutely coming down, so I'm gonna have to rethink my day. I will get these fitted, but I may end up having to do it tomorrow depending if this weather goes over. So I'll catch up with you in a bit. Well, I just meant to say that I'm not going to bother videoing putting these steps, the 2 steps and the cleat on the starboard side, because if you look back at last week's vlog, you'll see I did exactly the same job on the port side. But what I will do, I will just show you the end result when they're in place, and I can then move on to that filter housing. Catch up with you in a bit. Well, at the moment we've just got slight drizzle, so hopefully this will pass over. Now what I intend to do, obviously I'm going to be fitting the steps and the centre cleat on this starboard side, so once I know it's going to stop raining, I just need to undo the stern and the bow ropes and manually pull Freedom across to this jetty so I can get access to the side of the boat to drill the holes. Bearing in mind she's 35 tonne, it's amazing how easy it is to pull her when she's on the water, and I'm determined to get these on today. I really don't want to have to leave it another day. So we'll see how it goes. Now, if you've been watching the vlogs, you'll know this is my galley window, and I had a major water ingress at one point a few months ago where these two sets of drain holes, there's two either side, there's a cover that goes over, you can see the screw holes, and although I'd cleaned them out, the last time I had a thunderstorm, although not on the same scale of water, there was still water getting in. So what I'm going to do while I'm on this side of the boat doing some drilling, I'm going to open up these holes so they're just a little bit bigger, so hopefully that will let the water out quicker. So I put this big boy in here. I'm not going to go right into the tap area of the drill, I'm just going to go through the aluminium and open them holes up a little bit. And there we have it. I've just opened them up a little bit wider. I've just got to clean off the area and then put the two covers back on, and hopefully then if water runs down the glass into the frame, which it's designed to do, then it should come out them holes a lot quicker and then save the water building up the side of the frame, which it was doing, and then spilling into the wood. So we'll have to wait and see when the next thunderstorm comes if that's been a successful mod. The strange thing is I've got the same two designed windows there in the saloon area. Never have an issue with them. They don't block up, they're getting no muck in, so I'm assuming it's possibly the seal around the window that's the problem. But for now I've opened them holes up just to relieve some of the water. Well, it's about an hour and a half to 2 hours since I started, and the steps are on, and the starboard side now has been washed down and had a good coating of ceramic. I use the turtle wax wet ceramic, and it is absolutely a dream to put on. That's the first of the two steps on the starboard side. I've also, as you've seen in the vlog, I've opened up the drain holes in that window, and again all this area now has been ceramic coated. The centre line cleat now in position, and again boat's looking lovely and clean. The water just pearls off of it now, and that's my front step all sorted. So I'm just going to undo the ropes, pull it back to port side, might have a quick cup of tea and then take Misty. Quite content with that. I think it looks very nice for a hand painted boat, and the protection that the ceramic gives it, second to none. If you haven't already tried it, do give it a go. There's lots of different makes. I'm only recommending what I've used, which is the turtle wax wet ceramic, but do be prepared, it is about £15 a bottle. Now I did overdose the first coating that I put on after I buffed and waxed the boat, but looking at it now, I intend to do ceramic coating every couple of months, and because it's already been cleaned and it's got a coat on, you might use £3 worth on a boat this size. So after you've done your first coat, if you did it every month, the bottle would last you 5 months, so it's not a bad investment, and it's dead easy to put on and dead easy to get off. Right, I'm going to undo this stern rope and get this boat moved back. Catch up with you after I've been for my walk. Right, well, I've just been to the Marina office, and true to the word, Wasp, who make the filter that I need the seals for, I've posted out the kit. Well, I've ordered 2 kits actually, and they've arrived next day, so you can't fault that. That in itself is fantastic service. However, I do think what we got, we've got the 2 complete kits. Now these work out, not quite sure. Oh, this must be because the kit fits whether you've got the glass bowl or you've got the aluminium bowl. Well, I've got the aluminium bowl because I won't use all these seals, because there's a big flat based rubber one there that I won't use. Mine's got the one I'm having the problem with is the same as this green one. Mine is black, but it's that one. So I'm guessing that I'm going to use that one and that green seal there, and that'll be me done at £12. I think it was about £12.80. But I bought a second kit as a spare. Now that in itself, yeah, I can't grumble at that. The annoying thing is, I've been charged £6.60 for it to arrive, and I don't think the camera will pick that up. It's £1.14 first class delivery, plus the price of a padded envelope. So that's not so good, Wasp. I think that's a little bit cheeky. You don't mind £1 or £2 extra for the fact that somebody's had to slide it in it, and you've printed off computer's printed off a label. But £6.60 I think was a bit steep. But at least now we've got the kit to do the job and a spare. So that's going to go in the toolbox in the engine room, and hopefully I'll always then keep the kit number and keep one in as a spare all the time. So that is going to be a job for tomorrow. I'm going to make myself a bacon sandwich. I'm starving. Right, this is me new barge pole, and I've decided I'm not going to paint it. So what I've done, I've just given it a liberal coating of antique stain, and it's had a very hefty first coat of what's known as gun stock oil. And many years ago I treated 3 rifles. I took the metal parts off the guns and just got the wooden stocks, and I treated them with this same oil, and it soaks in over 2 to 3 coats, and you just fine wire wool it in between, and it penetrates the wood, protects it, and it's not too shiny, but it does give it a sheen. And I'm going to do that instead of painting it, because it won't flake and it won't crack. So that's the first coat on, and you can see already it's got a bit of a sheen on it. So tomorrow I've got a job to do first thing in the morning, and then I'm going to try and get at least 1 if not 2 more coats on tomorrow, and then I should be able to buff it Thursday night, well maybe Friday night should I say, and Saturday night, and then it'll be done, and it'll look quite nice, a bit nicer than having a painted pole. Right, time for a coffee. Okay, I was hoping to get this done today, but I've had to go into work, or should I say go and collect a pet and take into work. So I'm not going to get it finished today, but so far, see you now, so far this is my, what was just a plain banister rail. I've stained it with a tinner stain that I had at work, so it's cost me nothing. Indian rosewood, just a plain, I think it's from Wilko's, it wasn't expensive. And last night after I'd stained it, I gave it the first coat of True Oil. I hope we can get that on the camera. Now this is gun stock oil. I've decided I'm not painting, as I've already mentioned, and for those of you who don't know, the gun stock is the wooden part of a rifle, and I have done 3 rifles in the past with this, and it's amazing. With a smaller item like the stock of a gun, you rub it on with your fingers and it goes very tacky as it soaks in, and the more you rub it, the shinier it becomes. But it's very weather resilient. So what I'm going to do now, it's what day is it? It's the 2nd of September, which is Thursday. I need to get the vlog edited, so I'm just going to put another coat on now, and next week's vlog you'll see the end result, because I want to leave this coat that I'm putting on now till I get home from work tomorrow, because I'm back at work tomorrow. And then I'm going to use a very fine wire wool just to gently scratch the surface before I put what will be the 4th coat on. And there's about, what is it, about 2/3 of a bottle here, and I've got no guns anymore, so I'm going to use it on this pole. So I'll just keep building the coats up, and hopefully by next week's vlog you'll see the end result. So I'm going to take my ugly face out of the picture, but you'll just see how I'm going to place it and what it looks like. I'm going to put the actual oil on the it's going to be the pole. Now I'm using an old microfiber cloth, but I should warn you that once you've left the cloth it will eventually go very hard within a matter of hours. So this is the actual, it's almost like a very fine treacle, and you're just rubbing along the grain and build up the layers as we go. There's no fast result with this, but the end result is worth the effort. So a bottle of this, I've added this one about, oh crikey, 2-3 years, and I think it says on the bottle, I don't think you'll be able to see the label very well, it's £11.50, so it's not cheap, but trust me, when you see next week's vlog and you see the end result, I think you'll agree that if you have to buy a complete new bottle, I say I've had this one for some years, the end result is really worth it. It's better than varnish, because it being an oil base, initially all that it'll soak in, whereas varnish tends to lay on the top, and this doesn't crack. So and it's, although it'll have a nice sheen on it, it isn't going to be slippy in your hands, because if you imagine when you're shooting you need to get your hands wrapped around the stock of a gun, it needs to be weather resilient but not slippy. So I'm going to continue doing this, and then I'm going to go and edit this week's vlog, which is what you're going to be watching now, and I've still got Cider of the Week to do, so I'll catch up with you in a bit. Okie dokie. Good morning and welcome to Monday, the 23rd of August, and I've just come out on the field with Misty for a morning walk, and it looks like another one of the lodges is arriving. It comes in 2 parts, as you can see. There's half of a building on that lorry, and again we need this monster crane. It's just setting up now, ready for lifting onto the, they only go onto very basic foundations, to be fair, like blocks, and the team who manufacture them will then level them up, join the 2 halves together, and then obviously make sure that the roof joins are all watertight. And you know, it's literally within 4 or 5 days all ready to go, and people are moving in. So yeah, there's the crane that you often see at Mercia, lifting off wide beams and narrow beams into the water. Today he's got a bit of a different task. I still think this will be quite heavy, but maybe not as heavy as a wide beam, that's for sure. I'll bring you back some point later today and just show you the 2 halves in position, so you can see how quick it all takes just to put it in place. Big old crane, that, a lot of money's worth. Well, it's now 6 o'clock at night. I'm out with Misty, and as you can see, that's another lodge firmly in place. The other half must have arrived after we left this morning and been craned in. And if you look towards the bottom, you'll see it's actually, the whole building sits on blocks. And then if you look at the one that's been here for a while now, they literally skirt around the bottom, so it looks like it's always been there. It's amazing how quick, I don't know how long it takes them to build them in the factory, but crikey, it doesn't take them long to fasten the 2 halves together and create either a permanent home. Well, I say permanent home, apparently you're only allowed to live in it, if you own it, you're only allowed to live in it 11 months of the year, as part of the agreement for one of these. So the people I bought Freedom of, they have moved into one, and I think it was January, they spent January in a glass fibre cruiser boat, which I imagine wasn't the most pleasant experience because there'd be no insulation in it, so I imagine that was very, very cold. But yeah, that's part of the rules for having one of these. So yep, that's how quick they go in, and they're slowly filling up now around the lake. All these here have, many of these have come since I've been here, so it doesn't take them long to sell them and get them transported, unloaded, screwed together, and I bet within a fortnight there'll be people living in that. Crazy how fast it happens. Cider of the week. Well, that's been a strange kind of week. All my days off have been middled around at work. I've gone in on days when I should have been off. Things I'd planned to do I haven't done, and things I wasn't going to do I've managed to get sorted. And as you've seen in the vlog, I've got issues sorting the fuel filter out, which now I've got the seals I'm going to do. Hopefully I might do tomorrow night, which is Friday, so it'll hopefully be done before you get this this vlog. And yeah, quite of a mixed bag this week of one thing and another that's been going off. And well, I wasn't going to mention this, but just before I went out to take Misty on a walk, my good neighbour Callum came and knocked on the top of my boat, and he says, "Are you eating?" I said, "I'm just having my tea." He says, "In 5 minutes we're having a meeting at table on end at jetty pontoon." And I knew then. And Louise and Callum, Jane and myself sat round the table, only to be told that our good friends Louise and Callum are leaving the Marina on Saturday. They're not going too far from here, but it's a shock, because they're like, for me, they're like my brother and my sister that I've never had. They make you feel so welcome. They've been so helpful and so friendly. Really going to miss them. Just the banter and the knowing that you've got neighbours who actually care. You know, I've had neighbours who are not that way inclined, and it makes life more difficult, especially for somebody like yourself when you live on your own. But I know I'm old enough and daft enough to know that they've got to think about themselves. They've found a marina not far from here where they're going to be happy, and they know that marina well, and have had the name down for quite a while. And it's now time for them to take the mooring ropes off and sail off to a new adventure. Now, he ain't going to get away with it, because when it's time for moving boats, I want him back here to help me move Freedom into her next berth. So I don't think you're going to get away with it, Callum. So this week's Side of the Week, I'm going to dedicate it to my friends Callum and Louise. And it's a cider, again, that I've never tried before. This is from Aldi. It says, I think you spell it Alska. Cherry cider. A 500ml bottle. It cost £1.48. It should be £1.68, but they reduced it. That makes you wonder why. And it's 4% proof. And for the last 2 weeks, as you'll have seen if you've been following the vlogs, the cider of the weeks have been really disappointing. And this just says on it, when you look at the description, as with all the ciders that seem to come out of Aldi, it just says cherry flavoured cider. Well, I could work that bit out from the front of the bottle. It also says vegan friendly and premium cider. That's it. That's as much as I know. So we're going to crack it open, as I say every week, see what it's like. Oh, I think I might have got gunstock oil on my hand. Stay misty. And I've got a smell to it. Using my tankard, courtesy of Louise and Callum, I'm just going to put a small amount in, just as a taster. Because the one thing I've learnt this last 3 weeks, or last 2 weeks, ciders, don't gulp a lot because it wasn't very nice. Well, it looks nice. It's still, yeah, you can get a whiff of cherry. Oh, it's fizzy. That's very fizzy. Oh, that's a little bit like a Brothers cider, in so much as it's a little bit like a sweet shop. Tastes like a toffee shop, as we call it. Kids' toffees. Well, it's a bit light. And it hasn't really got a depth of flavour. It's got a flavour, but it's not a solid depth of flavour. It's a bit wishy-washy. Having said that, if it was a hot summer's night and I've just got back from walking my dog, yeah, I could drink 1 or 2 of these. Very sweet. Doesn't taste like cider at all. I wouldn't have it with a meal. It's not that kind of cider. But it's a very nice, sociable cider. It's not ranking, in my mind, as good as the Brothers strawberry and cream and ciders like that, because they do seem to have a bit of a depth of solidness in the flavour. But I wouldn't say no to a bottle. Where would I rank it? I think maybe I was going to say 7.5, maybe 8. I'd give it an 8. It's drinkable. It's nice. It's not got a horrible taste to it. It's not got an aftertaste to it. I just think it's lacking a bit of depth. But all in all, for £1.48, I think it was, it's not a bad drink. So, as with all the ciders, I've bought this with my own money, well, with the exception of the ones that's been given to me as gifts. But they're from family or friends. I'm not promoting Aldi cider, I'm just telling it as it is. I don't actually, looking at it, you know, and tasting it, I think I'd be a bit reluctant to buy too many of them, because at 500ml, for me, only for me, it's a bit too much, you know, as in volume. I like the small 300ml bottles because I'm not a big drinker. But after this week and a day like I've had today and the sad news I've just been given, it just remains me to say to Callum and to Louise, I really genuinely hope you're happy in your new home where you're going to be more in that boat of yours. Don't forget to come back and help me move freedom, because otherwise I'll be stuck here forever. And thank you for being such fantastic neighbours and such really good friends. And I'm going to miss you. I'm genuinely going to miss you. So to you both, good health, happiness. Cheers.